Welcome to a new deep dive of AI Unraveled. This is the show created and produced by Etienne Newman. He's a senior engineer and a passionate soccer dad from Canada.
That's right.
If you're finding these sessions valuable and you want to keep up with AI, definitely hit like and subscribe. It really helps us out.
It does.
So today we're looking at something pretty fascinating. Artificial intelligence and how it's, well, changing the fashion world. You, our listener, the learner, sent over some great sources. There's AI-powered fashion design, a new era of creativity.pdf, and a few web links too.
Yeah, good stuff in there.
And our goal really is to pull out the key insights. How is AI actually changing design, shopping, maybe even manufacturing?
It touches on all of it.
And to help us navigate this intersection of tech and trends, we've got our expert with us again.
Happy to be here. It's a really exciting space, fashion and AI. The potential is, well, it's quite remarkable, frankly. Lots of new possibilities opening up.
Okay, let's unpack this then. The whole idea of, computers designing clothes.
Yeah.
It still sounds a bit sci-fi, doesn't it?
It does a little.
But the sources are clear it's happening now.
Yeah.
So what's the big picture? What's the fundamental change AI brings to design?
Well, one of the key things is how these AI tools work. We're talking generative AI models mostly.
Right.
The PDF mentions this. They basically learn the rules of fashion by looking at, huge amounts of images, designs, data.
Okay.
And then a designer can give it a prompt, maybe some text, maybe a quick sketch, and the AI generates completely new patterns, new styles, things that follow the rules it learned but are still original.
So it's not just copying existing things.
No, not exactly. It's synthesizing. It lets designers explore ideas, maybe directions they wouldn't have immediately thought of if they were just, sketching from scratch. It really lowers the barrier sometimes.
Huh. That's interesting. So you could just type, show me 10 variations of a puff sleeve on this dress.
Pretty much, yeah. The PDF actually mentions a startup tool that generates illustrations right from text descriptions.
Wow. Imagine the speed.
Yeah.
Prototyping dozens of ideas almost instantly.
Exactly. It massively speeds up that initial brainstorming, that iteration phase.
And it's not just startups jumping on this.
Oh, definitely not. The big players, the traditional fashion houses, they're using it too. Look at Tommy Hilfiger. They partnered with IBM and FET, the Fashion Institute of Technology.
Ah, I saw that mentioned.
Yeah, they used AI to analyze their entire archive. Decades of designs, fabrics, colors.
To do what exactly?
To find hidden patterns, recurring themes, maybe spot emerging trends within their own history that could inspire new collections. It's like giving them new eyes to see their own legacy.
That makes sense. Instead of someone manually digging through old lookbooks forever.
Right. And it's not just looking backwards. Remember that Google and Zalando project, Project Muse?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
What was that?
That explored using AI to generate fashion sketches based on what users liked, their preferences, their online habits. It was trying to sort of anticipate taste.
Whoa. So AI is learning what we want before we even know it. That's kind of mind-bending.
Well, it raises questions, doesn't it, about how much data influences design now. AI can definitely give design teams insights into what might sell, what might resonate, insights that would be super hard to get traditionally.
But is it taking over? Are designers becoming obsolete?
Not yet, no. The sources, like the PDF, are pretty clear on this. Right now, AI is more like a really powerful assistant.
An assistant? How so?
It automates tasks. Things like simulating how a specific fabric will drape or generating basic pattern blocks, suggesting color palettes that work together. The more technical, time-consuming stuff.
Okay, got it.
Which frees up the human designer to focus on the bigger picture, the artistic vision, the emotion, the unique details. The stuff algorithms aren't great at, It's very much a collaboration.
A human-AI partnership.
Exactly. And look, if you're finding this tech interesting and want to understand what's under the hood of these AI tools, remember Etienne Newman, who creates this show, he actually have a whole series of AI certification prep books over at djangatech.com.
Ah, right, for Azure AI, Google Cloud, AWS AI.
Yeah, and even the fundamentals, they're great if you want to get certified, maybe boost your career in this area. We'll put the links in the show notes, of course.
Good stuff. Okay, so AI is definitely changing the design room. But what about us, the shoppers? How's it changing, our experience buying clothes? Let's shift from the studio to the digital storefront.
Yeah, this is where personalization gets really sophisticated. Online platforms are heavily using AI now.
How does that work?
Well, the algorithms look at everything your past buys, what you browse, what you like or save, maybe even social media activity sometimes.
Okay.
And they build this profile of your style. Then they use that to recommend clothes they think you'll actually like. It cuts through all the noise.
It feels like the website is starting to get me.
That's the goal. It's like having a digital stylist that learns more about you every time you interact with it. It processes so many data points to try and curate something just for you.
The PDF had some examples, right? Stitch Fix.
Yep, Stitch Fix uses AI quite a bit. It helps their human stylists pick items for customer boxes, and they're even playing with AI to visualize outfits based on what a customer says they like.
In Zalando, too.
Yeah, Zalando developed an AI fashion assistant. It uses tech similar to ChatGPT, apparently.
Oh, wow.
So you can have more natural conversation, ask for specific outfit ideas, get style or advice. It's trying to make online shopping more intuitive.
Almost like having a personal shopper on call, 24/7.
Kind of, yeah. And it's not just the mass market sites. The PDF mentioned curing they own Gucci, Saint Laurent, those
The
brands.
luxury end.
Right. They're testing an AI virtual personal shopper called KNXT. It uses a chatbot to give curated suggestions, trying to bring that high-end, personalized feel online.
So these systems are constantly learning from our feedback.
Exactly. They refine their understanding of your taste over time. Ideally, the recommendations get better and better. Now, the PDF does point out they're not perfect yet.
Sometimes the suggestions are a bit off.
Yeah, they can still be a bit generic sometimes. But the key thing is they are learning and improving all the time. It's like that stylist getting to know you better.
It makes sense.
And again, for anyone curious about the AI behind these recommendation engines, Etienne's certification books at dmgattech.com cover the principles involved. Whether it's the basics or cloud AI certs, it's a solid place to start. Links are in the notes.
Okay, this is where things get really interesting for me. The future.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? The sources hint at some pretty wild possibilities.
Oh, yeah. One area that pops up is smart garments.
Smart garments, like
Yeah.
clothes with computers in them.
Sort of. Imagine clothes with tiny sensors and AI built in so they can adapt to you or the environment in real time.
Like what? You mean example?
Maybe a jacket that adjusts its own insulation based on the temperature, inside or out. Or sneakers that change their cushioning depending on if you're walking or running.
Okay, that's cool. Responsive clothing. Is that actually feasible?
It's getting there. As sensors get smaller and AI gets smarter, it's becoming more viable. But AI's future impact isn't just in the clothes. It's also about making the whole industry, well, better, more sustainable.
Ah, sustainability. That's huge in fashion. How can AI help there? It feels like tech often means more production, not less.
Not necessarily. AI, especially machine learning, is really good at analyzing massive data sets to predict trends and, crucially, predict consumer demand much more accurately.
So knowing what people will actually buy.
Exactly. Which means brands can make the right amount of stuff. It helps tackle that huge problem of overproduction clothes made but never sold, ending up as waste.
Does it make a real difference?
Apparently, yes. The PDF mentions a report that H&M cut their overproduction by something like 30% in a year using AI for better forecasting.
30%?
Yeah.
That's enormous. So AI can help us be smarter about production.
Precisely. Smarter and more efficient. And connect that to materials. Stella McCartney is doing something really innovative.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
They're using AI-designed enzymes, tiny biological catalysts, to break down old polyester fabric right back to its basic molecules.
Seriously.
Yeah, and then they can spin that back into new high-quality yarn. They even made a garment using this AI-powered recycling process. It's about closing the loop.
Wow. AI helping to actually recycle fabrics at a chemical level?
Yeah.
That could be revolutionary for waste.
It really could. Then there's this idea of co-creation. Human designers working with AI. Nike's AIR collection is a good example mentioned.
Sneakers designed with AI.
Yeah, they use generative AI tools to explore totally new shapes and forms, things maybe a human wouldn't have thought of.
Okay.
But then they brought in elite athletes and human designers to refine those AI ideas, make sure they actually performed well, met the athlete's needs. It's a blend.
A fusion of machine creativity and human expertise. I like that.
Exactly. It's not one or the other. And the sources even touch on, fully AI-generated clothing lines down the road, virtual fashion shows, maybe on-demand production where clothes are only made after you order them.
It really blurs the lines between physical and digital, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It raises big questions about what fashion even means in the future. And if thinking about these possibilities makes you want to understand the tech driving it all, well, you know where to look. Etienne's books at dgemgatetech.com, getting certified could really position you well.
Right. So we have to ask the big question then, all this stuff. Is it just hype, a passing tech trend in fashion? Or is this a real fundamental game changer?
Well, look at the money. The PDF has this stat. 71% of fashion execs say they're increasing their AI investments.
71%? That's a lot.
It suggests the industry itself sees this as a serious long-term shift, not just a fad. They're putting significant resources behind it.
And didn't they just have the first AI Fashion Week in New York?
They did. Designers use tools like Midjourney, DALL-E, those AI image generators, to create whole digital collections.
With people designing clothes entirely with AI prompts.
Yeah. And the interesting part is the narrative wasn't about replacing designers. It was about empowering a new type of creator, someone with maybe different skills, using AI as their primary tool.
That's a different angle. Collaboration again.
Exactly. And the winners of that AI Fashion Week actually got help turning their digital designs into physical clothes. So it's bridging that gap between the virtual and the real.
Okay, this deep dive really shows AI in fashion isn't just for the giant companies anymore. It's getting more accessible. So for you, the learner listening in, how can you start exploring this? What can you actually do?
There are definitely ways to engage. The PDF suggests trying things out, like AI stylist apps or virtual fitting rooms, see how they work, how the recommendations feel.
See, they get your style.
Yeah. And there are free online AI fashion design tools popping up, too. You can play around, generate your own sketches or patterns just using text prompts. You don't need deep tech skills, just imagination.
That sounds kind of fun, actually.
It can be. Also, just follow brands that are openly using AI. See what they're doing with it in design or marketing or virtual stuff. Keep an eye on the innovators.
And talk about it.
Absolutely. The PDF mentions engaging in the conversations around the ethics, the creativity. What does AI originality mean? Where is the human element irreplaceable? Being part of that discussion helps shape how the tech gets used.
At least that.
And look, if you get really inspired and want to understand the underlying tech deeply, I know we keep mentioning it, but Etienne's AI Cert Prep books at dgemgatetech.com are designed for that. Getting certified, whether it's Azure, Google Cloud, AWS AI, or Fundamentals, gives you that solid knowledge base to not just watch, but maybe participate. Links are in the show notes.
Yeah.
So just to wrap up my thoughts, AI in fashion, it's really about augmentation, not replacement. It's offering new tools, new perspectives. It should lead to some really exciting, unexpected stuff.
So what's the bottom line for you, the listener? It looks like a future for fashion that's, well, faster perhaps, definitely more personalized, potentially more sustainable, and maybe even more creative in new ways. Keep an eye out for these AI innovations. They're definitely weaving their way into the fabric of style. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into AI and fashion. We hope it's giving you a clearer picture of what's happening.
Hope so too.
And seriously, if you want to go deeper into AI itself, check out Etienne's certification prep books at dgemgate.com. Get certified, boost your understanding. The links are right there in the show notes for you.
Definitely worth a look.
Okay, and now, as always, a final thought to chew on. As AI gets more and more integrated into our wardrobes, our style choices, how do you think our own sense of personal identity, our self-expression through clothes, how might that change and evolve right along with it?
Interesting question.
Something to think about. Don't forget to like and subscribe to AI Unraveled for more deep dives like this one. We'll catch you next time.